So now that we have the bed made, we have kind of an awkward hole in the corner, and I think we need to make a nightstand. I built a circular side table a while ago, and I think it'd be really cool to use the same design process and architecture for the nightstand. So let's see what we can do. Here is some scrap pine plywood I have lying around, and I want to use this to make the nightstand. However, we're not going to need nearly all of this. So I'm going to start by cutting these down to the right length. That means for some of the boards I'm going to cut them at 21 inches long, and for the rest, right at 6. We can then take those pieces and cut them long ways at 3/4 inch on the table saw, turning them into strips. And with that, we can take 2 of our longer pieces and glue and nail 1 short piece to the end of each of them. And this will make a lot more sense in a minute. Now here's a 5-sided box I made out of 1/4 inch MDF, except for the back, that's 1/2 inch. I have cut it to be able to fit perfectly inside our plywood strips to act as a structure of sorts. But as you can see, the front of it is all wibbly and wobbly, and so that is where the L pieces we just made come in. I'm going to glue and nail the 2 L pieces to the front lip of the box to help hold it together, and then I'm going to glue and nail the 2 L pieces together themselves. And with that, the difficult part is done, and we can release the chaotic creative madness. We're going to take the rest of the plywood strips and begin to glue and nail them onto the first ones, making sure to alternate which side they lean towards. But that's not all. I'm also going to cut out small pieces from our plywood strips and rotate them 90 degrees so that the different plywood grains are not showing, to kind of add more character to the build. And I'm going to do that throughout the whole process. Now obviously that's going to throw off the symmetry of our build, and we're going to have to cut down some of our regular pieces to fill in the gaps they create. It's going to take a little bit more time, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. Look at that, we came so close to making it, but we're just 1/4 inch short. So I'm going to cut down some 1/4 inch strips and just glue and nail those on as well. Now if you look at the front of this, obviously you can see the 3/4 inch plywood and the 1/4 inch MDF, and I just don't like how that looks. So I'm going to cut down some inch-wide plywood strips and put a face on this thing. Now if you look closely at the piece, you'll see a few tiny holes and gaps, which is to be expected when you build something of this style. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of wood filler and fill in those little tiny holes to try to make it as perfect as we can get it. And with the completion of that, it brings us to the drawer. For the drawer, I'm going to take some of our 3/4 inch plywood and cut out 3 pieces. The 3 pieces that will comprise the sides and back of the drawer. Now we're going to want to cut these pieces to fit inside the hole of the nightstand. However, we want to cut them so that they're 1/2 inch short on both the sides and back, and 1/2 inch short on the height. Here's a diagram of what I mean, because I feel like that didn't make any sense. After we've cut those 3 pieces, I'm going to take one of our 3/4 inch square strips and cut out 2 pieces that are the same length as the back of the drawer. And then lastly, I'm going to take some 1/4 inch thick plywood and cut out the base of the drawer. And with that, it's just a matter of putting it all together. You may have noticed we only used one of our 3/4 inch wide strips, but hold your horses, we'll get back to the other one. But in the meantime, let's make the face of the drawer. We're building this the same way we built the nightstand. However, as you can see, I have a little built-in handhole pole thingy, and I'm deliberately making it oversized so we can cut it down to fit later. Now, this is probably going to seem kind of weird, the order we're doing this in, but I promise it's going to make sense in the end. Here I have some super fancy like anti-slam drawer slides I picked up at Lowe's. And so what we're going to do now is use these slides to mount our drawer into the nightstand. Smooth. Oh yeah. Now back to the front of the drawer. We're gonna cut it down to fit with just a little bit of gap on all sides. Mark on the front of it where the drawer itself sits so we'll know where to put the nails. Then glue, center, and nail it in place. Then we'll of course go ahead and wood fill those, just like we did for the nightstand itself. And now we can go ahead and pull out the drawer and just take off the slides on the drawer itself, because it'll get in the way for the next few phases. Oh, and I almost forgot that second 3/4 inch square strip. We can now go ahead and glue and nail that onto the back of the drawer. I'm then going to take another piece of our 1/4 inch plywood and cut out a piece that fits perfectly inside the drawer. And after we tape it, so we have something to pick it back up again, we can drop it in the drawer and look at that, a secret compartment.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
Now finally we can sand down everything and make it silky smooth.
Silky and smooth.
I think this thing will look good in Provincial 211, so I guess let's find out if I'm right. And of course, I'm going to put on about 3 coats of polyacrylic to try to protect our hard work. Now here I have some 21-inch long metal legs I picked up from Dr. Evil's website. And so with our nightstand now dry, I'm going to go ahead and mount them to the bottom. We can then of course put the slides back on the drawer and slide that into place. Hot glue a ribbon onto our false bottom, so of course we actually have a chance of picking it back up, and then drop that in place. And with that, our nightstand is complete. I like it a lot. I'm not real sure what else to say, but I like it. I think it looks cool with the acrylic finish. It feels nice. The drawer slides smoothly, and it fits all my needs. Memes. Stonks. But who cares what I think? What do you guys think? Do you like it? But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you at least liked the video, even if you didn't like the nightstand. And if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. But if you didn't, please feel free to hit the thumbs down and build me a new nightstand. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.